Yeah, how you doing? I wanted to talk about some of the current events that are going on today. Talk about Joe Biden's bitch ass State of the Union speech. Talk about Kamala Harris and Tim Scott's decadent ass comments talking about America isn't racist or whatever bullshit spin doctrine they wanted to do. Um, the two women that were charged, black women who were charged with hate crimes against Asians, which is so hypocritical because for 10 years plus we've been seeing video after video of Asian men beating up on sisters and no charges came. It was like almost see no evil type shit. Um, and what else? And then also I wanted to talk about as well this contradictory rhetoric of all women are good, all men are bad type shit, and break that down in a more nuanced way and kind of use discernment right now because there's too much of that energy going around, and the ruling class put that out there on purpose because they know they need cover, especially with our sisters, our queens, and they're trying to split, continue doing this gender war and split the traditional black family structure up, which once put America on its knees during the 60s. And I also want to talk about book breaking that just came out, and all the success with that, and showing how our power, and also talk about our wins in history. How many times black people in this nation have actually won it all, but we didn't understand the bigger picture, and that's why we haven't taken over this nation and ruled this nation as we should be ruling it right now. So I want to, dive into these topics, as well as probably um, give my grade on Biden because they're doing the 100 days of Biden and his grade. And I saw on CNN on Fareed Zakari's GPS with Hillary Clinton's ass. I'm like, damn, this bitch just won't go away. Like, go and retire. Go and walk your dogs. You should be in jail for crimes against humanity because you're a war hoe and you voted for every war that we've been in and shit. But including damn near Biden as well. But um, yeah, I want to give my grade on him too, since everybody giving grades and shit. But I'm gonna start with the current events. I'm gonna start with Biden's State of the Union speech. Simply put, the shit was trash. I'm like, the main problem right now is white supremacy, racism, and lack of economic development and lack of justice for black people across the board in all spectrums of reality. But instead, he used uh, this shit to talk about all spin doctrine, talk about unity and America coming together and all of this, and then he glad handed some sort of oh yeah white supremacy, domestic terrorism, and then like glossed it right over, but no real concrete bill. And then as a spin, he tried to make it seem like oh Congress, please pass the George Floyd Act, which actually allocates more money to police. So it's a Trojan horse trick bag in itself. I'm like, we need an executive order that explicitly protects black people across the board in all areas of activity and reality, especially when it comes to policing. And now the Biden's on the hot seat. I don't even understand why his approval rating is so high. I'm like, his approval rating should be shit right now, especially amongst us. And I saw a video on what was it, MSNBC, where it talked about him being where it had black people talk about his approval and stuff like that, and black people were hella tiptoeing like, well, he's done very few executive orders. I'm like, my nigga, he's done nothing for us, bro, at all. As a matter of fact, he's actually middle fingered us and said, "Fuck you, you're on your own," basically, bitch. That's basically what he's told us, literally in so many words. And not only are you on your own, we're going to Trojan horse our buffer class group who is racist as fuck against us domestically and globally, the Asians, especially from China, but but not exclusive to them too, um, who practice anti-black racism. We're going to use that against you. We're going to spin everything on you to add another group to help us maintain our power because we see you guys getting closer to your salvation. So we gotta hold the reins even tighter because that's what's going on right now. So it's real decadent. He passed executive orders for the weirdo groups, for the buffers, for motherfuckers who ain't even in the fucking country, for people who ain't even citizens got allocated funds. I'm like, make that make sense when none of these constituencies did a damn thing to make sure that you became a president without the black folk, quote unquote, that you were giving so much praise to after the election. There would be no Joe Biden Kamala Harris ticket. And since I'm speaking on Kamala Harris, we're gonna transition right now into Kamala Harris's ass. So let me start off with the Black Girl Magic Brigade, the Sisters in the Struggle Brigade, all of this uh, Black Queen Brigade shit that allowed Kamala to seep through, even though the grassroots and the Queen sisters and the Down brothers were really dropping jewels for how can we say for how long? For damn near since she was before she even ran. We was on that ass in 2018. That's how far back we go with her. Even before that, honestly. So we kind of peaked on her and Cory Booker being the next pliable people that they were going to use to push the agenda through. But they really wanted Kamala so they could run the agenda that way. But we destroyed that shit. We made her ass drop out in 2019. And that shit shockwaves, and we know they started the bioweapon and had to go to Plan B and do all this other stuff and smokescreen agendas and quote and all the other spin doctors. But they wanted her. They wanted Kamala. Kamala was the pick, and so that's why she became VP because she's gonna be used as the sisters in the struggle and it's an optic. Notice white man, black woman. They've been trying to run that optic. Like, hey sisters, this is your salvation. Be the overseer to protect the white supremacist power structure over your dude. And they've created this foot soldier overseer class in all areas of activity. And if you notice, that's why the in these career activities, if you notice across the board, you've seen a certain disposition or feature from those types where they're very unbalanced. You can tell. You can see it. And so I bring all of this to talk about, to tie all this back in. We were dropping jewels on Kamala. We told you about her being a Wall Street bankster, do girl for the 1%. We talked about her having no ties to the black community at all. Her record as um, attorney general was fucking pathetic in California. She broke the record for most black men she locked up. She blocked up black mothers left and right. I'm like, we were breaking all this down and y'all still voted for that ass. See, this is why we have the grassroots and then we have the base, the masses. And the masses are a problem within our community because they follow the agenda, hook, line, and sinker. They follow everything that the left wing of the ruling class pushes for them to co-sign. Because remember, during the George Floyd uprising, the grassroots had the pulse of the masses of the community for about a month. Because remember, the celebrity class stood down. Remember, the black celebrity class is dominated by the left wing of ruling class. So the celebrity class had stood down. They were absent. So the grassroots had the pulse, and we were rebelling. We were speaking truth to power. Juneteenth was even celebrated more than it had ever been celebrated since probably 1865. You know what I'm saying? So I was in full view. Um, we were 10 toes down. We were speaking truth to power. We were pushing, fighting on all fronts, uprisings everywhere. It was, and we were unified. Black women, black men. There was no divide. We was helping each other out. But guess what? Guess what? Because the masses of our people, and I don't wanna overdo it because I understand there is a bedbug class, but there's not a apparatus group that is as significantly concentrated and significantly developed as our queens to be the foot soldiers for the left wing of the agenda. Because everything that the ruling class wants to push, they push it through our women. They push it through the masses of our women. I'm not talking about all sisters because we know we got some down ass queens. The ones who listen to the Vicky Dillards, and the ones who listen to the Lioness, and the ones who listen to Sherzad Ali, the ones who come from that Francis French Welsing school of knowledge. We know that, but that's in the minority. You know what I'm saying? And but the majority, the masses, follow the left wing and the ruling class. That's why as soon as the left wing and the ruling class came back into the fold, what did they come back with? They came number one with the celebrity class shit. They came with um, the Megan Thee Stallion shit, the Jada Pinkett Will Smith shit, the WAP song, the Me Too thing. Um, Came back with empowerment thing. And for the coin, the Suki thing, the cuties thing. Notice all these things. Then they came back with all of the sports things and all of that. All of these came back due to the left wing. And remember, our people decided to then fold right after that. They went right back to sleep after a month of speaking truth to power, and after a month of the masses being on the root, on the pulse of the left wing on the pulse of the grassroots. The grassroots was leading the wave this time. But when the left wing came back, the masses of our people decided to follow them. And I want and this is not this. I already know the brothers are on some cool shit. A lot of the brothers on some cool shit. I already speak to that numerous times. And every time a brother is on coon shit, the real niggas in the field to call that shit out. Like Hubert, Obama bitch ass, like Clarence Thomas. We call it out consistently. We call it out. We don't allow coons to get away. Now, now, just oppose that to the sisters. I'm not talking about the queens. I'm talking about just in this general mass. The same type of coonery gets seen as empowerment. Kamala should be seen as in the same coon light the way we seeing Obama. But Kamala, for our queens, is seen for our women. Not all of them, because I'm talking, but because the queen and the sisters peep game on her. But for our women, they see her as empowerment. They see that as like they go for the status over the substance. And that's a problem. They see the position that she's in, but what is she doing with that position? Why was she given that position? And why would you want a position that it has to do so much evil in it in order to be there? I'm like, bro, there's you know what I'm saying? There's substance involved. Like that's not an achievement. Being a sellout ain't no achievement. Just because you're in a high place, a blackface in a high place, that's not an achievement. Especially when you have to carry out an evil agenda behind that. I'm like, that's demonic. And so why I call this out is because the grassroots was on the bumper of this, and there was no reason to co-sign her at all. And now you're seeing the results of her come to the fruition. Now, when sisters are getting beaten, when they have the Asian hate crime, which is now attacking sisters, when they have sisters getting killed, um, and when they have sisters who are demanding justice and who are demanding shit now, who are getting the middle finger and their calls not being returned, like in that video where she was like, "Yeah, I was a grassroots activist, and now they're not even calling me." I'm like, "You're seeing the results. We told you this already. We already told you what to do, but you didn't want to listen. You thought it was time to get on board with the left wing ruling class, and they were gonna save you over your dude." I'm like, that's a problem right now, more so than anything before. We have a lot of this protect black women thing, and it's automatic that any self-respecting brother would do that. But we need the same energy, not from a militaristic physical standpoint, but from a spiritual word standpoint. Why aren't you speaking more truth to power when it comes to the brothers? Focus more on the brothers doing right than the brothers doing wrong. Because you can't tell me that they ain't brothers who are good brothers, who are standing 10 toes down, who protect, who are speaking truth to power, who build families, who won't have businesses. Speak that more into existence. Instead, you're speaking the wrong shit. Instead, you hear more on the airwaves, and you hear more from even the rank and file masses of our sisters, more of the negative shit when it comes to brothers than the positive shit. And there's no campaign out there saying anything positive about black men, except for if they're in a fucking dress. You know what I'm saying? But when you just juxtapose that to our sisters, the sisters have a lot of campaigns. Tamika Mallory's campaign was like the strong sister's gonna take over America, or what she's exploited, but her whole career came upon the blood and the bodies of black men and boys, and or you juxtapose that again to uh, to Black Girl Magic. I'm like, that's a positive campaign, but where is the male counterweight? Where's the whole? Not even just the male. Where's the family counterweight? Where's a campaign to be like, hey, let's empower the whole community? Since I have the power as a woman, let me do that to not only empower my own man, but let me empower the whole community, the elders, the children, the youth. You know what I'm saying? It's low key on some selfish shit, honestly. If we're being real, that's some selfish me, myself, and I shit. And the ruling class likes that, by the way, because they like motherfuckers like that. They love that shit. Easy to control, easy to rule through, which is they've been doing for the last 50 years. So, and that's real. That's real shit. And so that's important. That's important to talk about. That's important to talk about because the agendas that have been pushed through our queens, that the queens have manifested and absorbed, have been detrimental to the community as a whole. Feminism is a form of coonery. I want y'all to know that. Because if it was about unification and unity, there would be a black feminine unit in its natural state being the main thing that's pushed. Trying to uplift the entire community, not just yourself. You see what I'm saying? Especially when it's an indoctrination from the white racist feminist movement, which has its origins in slavery and actually is used to gear up and rebuild her plantation using you guys as foot soldiers strategically. Because remember, once again, I'm going to harp on this. I'm going to keep talking about this until that sinks into our Queen's message. 40 to 60% of all the slave masters were white women. They are not your sister in the fucking struggle. Poison Ivy is not the same as Batgirl. I'm taking this shit back to Saturday morning cartoons. Is Batgirl the same as Poison Ivy? Is Wonder Woman the same as um, um, Harley Quinn? Or who else is a bad uh, female supervillain? The same as the girl from Thor? You know, the bad girl from Thor Part 3? Is that the same thing? Wonder Woman the same as that? See, that's what I'm saying. And is Batman the same as the Joker? You know what I'm saying? Like, so are the men in the same category? Because there are Batman type niggas out there. I don't want to make this, but we breaking it down to a low level, so y'all can understand this shit. There are Batman niggas out there. Shit, there. Yeah, if y'all haven't seen through the past 5 or 6 years, motherfuckers been saving babies from falling buildings, catching people from jumping out of buildings. We've been saving people from fires. Saving, remember the Waffle House dude, black man who saved the whole Waffle House from a fucking terrorist ass white boy who's ready to shoot up the whole Waffle House. I'm like, bro, there are Batman niggas who are literally saving fucking lives, catching people out of fucking buildings, saving people from burning buildings, catching babies. I'm like, scaling walls to save babies and shit, bro. Our Hancock gene is in us 10 toes down for the real niggas. But there is a Joker nigga. But you have to make discernment. This whole all the women are together and all of them are great and all the men are fucking evil is bullshit. And that's sexist as fuck. I'm like, the sexism can't be one way. That's another thing too. It can't be one sided. I think that's bullshit. It cannot be one sided. Use discernment. There is a difference. Use discretion. There is a Harley Quinn and a fucking Batgirl. There's a Poison Ivy and a Batgirl. There's a Batman and a Joker. I'm like, there are good and evil. It's not monolithic on either side. And that's important to know because this whole thing right now, the ruling class loves this shit because that's their agenda. They understand that. They understand that you being bamboozled helps to maintain their power dynamic and keep more buffers in line so that they're never disturbed because you're going to be pushing their agenda regardless whether you know it or not because they run all the propaganda machines that you claim are empowering you, which are actually disempowering you and your community. But you're getting a little coin for the coin, as Suki would say, and a little benefit so it looks good in the short term. And I'm just so passionate about this shit because I can see it. I see it from so many angles. Because I'm so in the lab on this shit. I'm strapped in. If y'all see New Jersey twerk, the little the little battle rapper dude, Obi, who be spit. Yeah, I'm like, I'm strapped in. Like, I'll be strapped in when it comes to this shit. I'll be watching it. I watch it from all angles. But back to what I was talking about when it came to Kamala and Tim Scott. Kamala and Tim Scott are a fucking disgrace. What can we say? They are the black friend. They're the black homegirl that hangs around all the white girls. They're that black friend who hangs around all the white boys. That's basically what they both are. I've seen them all the time. Um, Lame ass niggas who perpetuate the white supremacist stereotypical system of oppression and control. Just put it like that. And for them to say that sucker ass shit in the height of the George Floyd conviction and all this other terroristic white supremacist demonic murder genocide that's going on, and systematic economic castration and miseducation that's happening, is bullshit. And negative propaganda against us and spin doctrine and a new Red Summer 1919 setup game. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that going on, and you gonna spit that shit? These niggas, them niggas needed to get work. Like, real niggas needed to go to the crib. That needed to be pull up summer on Kamala and Tim Scott for real, for real. Cause that was some bullshit. Like, they didn't even know. And then in the same breath, they double talked. Oh, but we must not ignore the racism. And then that nigga was like, yeah, I've been pulled over 18 times while driving. I'm like, coon nigga and bed wench coon bitch. What the fuck are you talking? You coon niggas disgust me for real, for real. I'm like, and it just goes to show you that position shit, that for the coin shit, is not the way. It's more than just a dollar amount and a status. It's about substance as well. Because yeah, you'll have the status, you have the coin, but what will it take to get there if it's not built on righteousness and dignity? You know what I mean? Like, come on. I'm like, please, people, use a little more nuance. We got to get back to some real shit, man. Real energy shit. Not just superficial status, because that's fleeting and it doesn't hold weight. Integrity matters. Maat matters. Values and morality matter hard. Like, that needs to be the wave. And I just thought that was bullshit. I thought that was flaw. And from Lunch Bucket Joe, we damn sure, as Dr. Umar said in his video, we damn sure need a fucking executive order. And we need that damn reparations and an end to the Black Genocide campaign. We need an executive order that specifically protects black people and gives them their economic justice and reparations, which is our right. Because we built this shit, we saved this shit, and we are this shit. The fuck? And we shouldn't even have to deal with none of this sucker ass shit. We should not be dealing with any of this evil shit at all. At all. It is not our right to be mistreated and abused. Fuck no. It is our right to be gods and goddesses as God created us to be and ordained us to be and manifested us to be. And for us to live heaven on earth. That is who we really are at our core. And that is the life we should be living. And I believe that to my core. And I want all black people to believe that shit. And to have that in their heart and to know that as truth. I want y'all to get off of this pessimistic shit, this negative whole ass energy shit. If y'all want some negative shit, then please go in a corner and cry like a bitch and wait for the enemy to come and get you. Because you're not doing anybody a favor by speaking negativity into the universe. So why not be positive? Why not be optimistic? Why not stand 10 toes down and be consistent and keep pushing? Yeah, sure, if we have a setback, just as Denzel said in his speech, fall 7 times, get back 8. Keep getting up. Because at the end of the day, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And we're going to win this shit at the end. Because we're built for this. The other groups ain't built for this shit. We built for this. We've been too bodied, man. We too rah-rah. We built for this shit, man. We built to be in the fourth quarter when everybody gets tired in the fourth quarter. You know, it's just like football, man. In the fourth quarter, everybody getting tired. They winded. And as Jimmy Johnson said, fatigue makes cowards of us all. But in the fourth quarter, they get winded. They start turning into hoes. And we just get in our stride. That's when you hand the ball off. You give it to your monster, and he get 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. Then he break a 20-yarder. Then he get the touchdown goal. Same shit, man. We're at halftime going into the third quarter. By the time the fourth quarter hit, all our enemies gonna be tired. They're gonna have their hands on their knees. They're gonna have their hands on their knees, gasping for air. And we're gonna have our hands on our helmet, being like, "Yeah, give me the ball again, coach. Give me that shit up the middle. Tell them what play we running, because they can't stop it. We're gonna be dictating that shit. That's what it is, man. Real rap. So, you know, that's the shit we like. So, yeah, that's that part. So executive order lunch bucket Joe. We still and we need to get back. We need to get a word class going. We need to get a Khalid Muhammad, Captain Rashid, Black Army going. Real rap, man. That shit that I heard Khalid Muhammad's war stories. That shit got me hyped. I was like, damn, them niggas was so real, man. We need some real niggas like that back in the field, man. I swear, boy, we need that shit way back. Damn, we need some real niggas in the field that just handle business. Just put all these other groups back in their fucking place. Like, don't ever even look at the guys like that. Don't even look at our women like that. Don't even think you could try our jits like that. For real, for real. On some real shit. That's what we need, man. Real rap, man. For real. Like, man, we need a whole bunch. Man, we need a million Khalid Muhammad niggas. Man, where the real niggas at? If y'all niggas don't want to lead nothing, man, I'm here, bro. Where the Khalid Muhammad niggas at, bro? For real, bro. I'm calling a call to action. I'm tired of this shit. What a call to action. Anybody who listens to this shit want to get some real shit done. I'm calling a call to action, bro. For us to start getting training going, get some self-defense classes going so we can defend ourselves hand-to-hand combat style. Get your boxing game right. Get your UFC game right. Your MMA game right. Get your shooting range game right. Get your pocket knife game right. All of that. Get your pepper spray, the old goon spray right. You know what I mean? Like, that's what time it is. Because this shit needs to end. I'm just being honest with you. Shit needs to end. And them Khalid Muhammad stories, man, we need warriors like that. Captain Rashid, where then would come out, step out, and tell the fucking police, nigga, who in charge? And like he would check everybody. And nigga, one of the realest war stories he said when they went and found the Klan, and they punked the Klan out when they was in Cali. And they were trained on the LAPD, and the LAPD's wild and crazy. We see them now. They have a neo-Nazi unit. And he used to punk out the LAPD. He used to have their ass spooked. And I'm like, that's what we need. We need that shit back. I like hearing shit like that, man. But I digress. And the final topic I want to talk about is the buck breaking movie that's coming out, and them trying to cancel Tariq. Number one, that's funny as shit. You can't cancel Tariq, man. He too real in the field. And I'm like, you can't cancel a real nigga. Tariq is not LeBron. That's the one thing. Tariq is not LeBron. LeBron is a bitch. Let's just be honest. I'm sorry. I fucked with the nigga. I used to rock with him for especially when he was down there in Miami and shit. And I liked him when he first got to the league and he came up. He used to play ball like a football nigga, so I fucked with that. Big, take it to the whole yam on legit, and play lockdown defense. But he turned into a bitch. I don't know if it was because Delonte West fucked his old girl or I don't know. But whatever happened, he assimilated too much, and he didn't continue to speak truth to power. And nigga, if you speak truth to power, you're LeBron, my nigga. I'm like the real niggas, and he's in LA. The real niggas in LA would have your fucking back. You know them niggas in LA don't give a fuck. They'll be right with LeBron. They'll be at LeBron's crib. Where you need us at, LeBron. They'll be right at LeBron Messi, saluting that nigga. On some you're the general, my nigga. I'm like, when instead LeBron allowed them to back him into a corner. I'm like, bruh, LeBron, you way too big and way too on top of the world to allow some pussies to back you into a corner. You should have stood on your tweet. Be unapologetic like Khalid Muhammad. These niggas need to learn Khalid Muhammad's example. Unapologetic. Stand on your shit. You're a fucking man. You're a black man. Fuck all that. I'm like, nigga, the minute we getting slaughtered every fucking day. If you have a problem with the tweet, you have a problem with the fucking bodies. Fuck boy, that's what you should have said to their ass. And been like, man, you could kiss these nuts. I got so much money buried in the field. Y'all can't even touch them with shit. And if y'all even think about doing any sort of military shit, I got so many goons ready to ride on for my ass. Man, we'll make this shit light up, bitch. You'll think this shit July 4th, and it's not even July 4th. We'll let that shit light up on your ass. That's what LeBron should have said, like a boss, and let them niggas know from the top down. He should have directed that shit right at the ruling class. Like, ruling class, if you think about even touching me the way you did my nigga Cole, I'll handle y'all ass. And yeah, we know y'all did that shit on Kobe. Like real rap. Like man, what a real man. That's the shit that pissed me off. I'm like, man, what a real niggas on top of the game at, man. That's the shit we grew up on. I hate that. But side note, back to what I was talking about. That buck breaking shit that Tariq brought up, that was real. I'm glad Tariq basically like sidestepped all they ass trying to make it, trying to cancel Tariq. I'm like, Tariq can't be canceled. I'm like, Tariq's too real, and y'all too weak. Y'all too soft. He can't be canceled. You're not gonna back down to y'all. I'm like, what the fuck? He gonna be go even harder. What the fuck? And now y'all look like the bitches that y'all really are because y'all couldn't cancel him, and he actually got stronger, and y'all actually look desperate. And the video that he showed about that Holiday Inn dude going crazy, I'm like, that's unprofessional, that's decadent, and that's evil, and that's a lawsuit. I noticed y'all spun that because I know for a fact if that was the other way around and the black dude would have snapped and went all crazy, they'd have been like, oh my god, why do you have Jamal working here? Oh my god, the savage beast. I'm sorry. Oh my god, he smashed it like a gorilla. I'm like, y'all would have turned this shit and spun it. Y'all would have. Oh my god, this is like the movie King Kong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh man, y'all would have flipped this shit and turned it into something beyond that. Real rap. That's real shit. That's just real shit. That's just what it is. So I say fuck that. And I'm like, I'm glad Tariq basically destroyed all these people because they were wanting to derail him because of his buck breaking movie that was coming out. And the buck breaking movie, I gotta give a shout out to that shit. Number one movie on Amazon right now. Number one movie on Amazon, buck breaking, and that's worldwide, man. It's a worldwide platform. So shout out to that. Shout out to him for that, for real. Like, and the buck breaking shit is needed to expose the weirdo movement and their buck breaking agenda and their depopulation agenda, trying to emasculate the black male and over emasculate the black female. And that needs to be called out because it's a huge demonic ass agenda. I'm tired of seeing niggas in a dress, man. That's real rap. I'm tired of seeing niggas parading in a fucking dress. I'm like, that's bullshit, especially for the young boys coming up. I'm tired of them having the young boys singing and "Ooh, I'm a young black man." That shit, man. That shit, man. That bullshit. I'm tired of that shit. That's some submissive, subordinate shit, man. We built to be gods. We built to be on top of this world, man. And we need to stand on that. We need to stand on that energy. And we need to stay in that era. We don't need to take the momentum and then chillax and then be like, oh, we got a victory, so let's chill. No, we need to take the victory and push even harder. We need to get even tough. Every time we get a victory, we need to get even more 10 toes down, get more entrenched, and act like we took a loss. And then when we take a loss, we need to act like we took a loss and go even harder than we took when we had the win. So regardless, we need to go hard. And that's what I'm saying in a nutshell. And so that's important to talk about. And the buck breaking movie is good. I like this shit. I like that he's exposing the history of this demonic pedophilia, LGBT weirdo depopulation agenda. I like that. And he's going in deep detail over all of it. And it needed to be exposed because this shit being solely characterized as something so free and innocent when it's really demonic and evil and oppressive and dehumanizing needs to be talked about. And we need to counter all of this propaganda, negative propaganda being pushed on all of us, the women, the kids, the elders, the men, all of that. We need to get back to a unity message where all of us are linked at the hip. You know, they say the peace sign is like this, but in Africa, the peace sign is like this. That means us together. And if you put it like that, that's the tool. So we need to not be like this. We need to be like this. And then maybe more like this or like this with the fist up, shit like that, unified on code. So I'm glad that movie's out, and I hope it becomes a wave that's talked about in the new energy that we're on as a community, not just by the grassroots, but by the masses. You know, I want the masses of our people to be having that energy and having that knowledge of self seeped into them. So I think that's important. And The last thing I want to talk about, which is very important, is the victories that we have had, but us not seeing the big picture in the victories. Because too many of our people think that, oh my God, the Caucasians have just obliterated us throughout the years, and woe is me. They took everything, and what can we do? All right, let's start with the Moors. Moors, we ruled for 1,000 years, so technically we ruled the entire planet because Europe became the power dynamic of the world. So that's the Moors. That's number one. Now let's go to the United States. In the major Spanish, when the Spanish brought over the blacks took over them and settled settlements all over, backroom cities all over these United, which will become these United States, the Gullahs and the Black Seminoles and all of that. And so that's another form of us winning a battle. Now, what we did not do is build fortifications and lay a claim that, hey, this is going to be our nation. We just said, okay, we're going to make a city right here, Maroontown. Just leave us alone and we're good. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? We just stick to ourselves. We just take it as a pure defensive war. And then we're like, okay, the job is done. But the job is not done because there's a bigger picture than just us. See, that I'm going to continue to show you a theme that has happened throughout our years of us winning, but us not understanding the bigger picture. And then it looking like, oh my God, the other group just overwhelmed us. No, we didn't understand the big picture. And then we were divided. We had everything was splintered. It wasn't unified. Whereas they were unified in their conquest and colonialism over us as a group. We were not. We were fighting these individual battles here and there, winning, but not understanding the bigger picture. Just like in Africa, we were winning battles all over Africa, the stopping oppression and colonialism for hundreds, 200 years. But we didn't see the bigger picture because we only fought on our own foot, on our own territory, defensively. Now, if we had taken the fight to them on their soil in Europe, going to their heads of states and their generals and kings who were dictating, and their oligarchical rulers who were dictating this colonial shit, we would have been able to not only defeat them, but oppress, but stop their movement and stop their strategy, and then take over their land. So then there is no more oppression. See, that's where we went wrong at. We didn't see the bigger picture. Now, juxtapose that back to America. Let's talk about the Black Seminole Wars. Seminole Wars. We won all three Seminole Wars because we were not re-enslaved. And we defeated the United States Army, who was trying to not only destroy all these maroon towns, which still were able to flourish, but also stop these people from being enslaved, which we were never recaptured, and which we defeated the United States Army in three Seminole Wars. That's important to talk about because we purely made it defensive. Yeah, we destroyed plantations all over Florida, but we didn't take the battle directly to the United States. We just stayed in our own enclaves in Florida. If we had a bigger picture, we would have been like, okay, the headquarters of this shit is the United States itself. They're going to keep coming at us, keep coming at us, keep coming at us. We're going to have to go to them and go offensive and go and crush them and take over the nation, so we don't have to deal with this enslavement shit or them trying to take our land and try to re-enslave us and try to destroy our maroon towns. See what I'm saying? We won the battle. We defeated them in all three wars. Andrew Jackson couldn't win. He was a little bitch in a hole. We bust that ass, and like a bitch, after the men beat him, he went into the town where only the women and children were, and ransacked and destroyed the city like a hoe, while the men had already won and were coming back from their victory. So basically violating the rules of engagement at that time, if there was any, when it came to warfare. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's an example. Examples of us winning, but not taking over and seeing the biggest picture. Same thing with the Civil War. We won the Civil War in the 1800s. We are the reason why the United States is the United States of America, and not the British Confederate States of America. I say British Confederate States of America because that was who was funding the Confederacy at that time. Because at that time, the British were the mega power. They were the superpower of the day, and they were trying to go for a worldwide conquest basically, and they were trying to crush the United States and their example of being autonomous against the British Empire. And their construct was the Confederate States of America. Now, we defeated the Confederate States of America, and we were supposed to get an equal stake in the land. But what we should have done is said, okay, we defeated the Confederate States of America. Y'all can't beat us. It's our nation now. And we're going to take the shit over because we're going to keep our tool. And we're going to seize the nation. This is our nation now. And we're going to send a message to the British. We're going to take the fight to y'all. And if we defeat them, then guess what? Not only do we have the United States, but we also have the British Empire, and that basically crushes colonialism and enslavement all throughout the world because the British were the overarching power around the world. Now, there were other colonial powers, but they all were satellites or second tier to the British. And they all basically answered to the British in one form or another, either directly or indirectly. That's another example. But we didn't see the big picture. We just saw, okay, we got our stipulation of ending slavery. They're going to make good on giving us equal stake to the land. They're going to abide by the treaties and the stuff that they said to Frederick Douglass and Martin Delany when they were negotiating us entering the war. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that's an example of us winning, but us not seeing the bigger picture and understanding who we were negotiating with. Because guess what? Right after that, what did they do? They enslaved us, put us in Jim Crow, Black Codes, Trail of 1877, and then we had to fight during the 20s with the Garden Movement, and then during the 60s with the Civil Rights Movement. Now, the Civil Rights Movement is another example of us winning again. We won again. We remember the white community was all up in the inner cities. They were all in. Remember, the inner cities at the time were populated by white people. White flight. Why did white flight happen? Because the black people turned up. They got tired of the white supremacist bullshit and turned up everywhere. Over 1,000 rides of cities getting destroyed and having white people flee left and right. Now, if the black people had peeped game and seen the bigger picture, they would have been like, okay, we just basically had these people go. We don't just want civil rights or whatever. And the National Guard was there too, and the National Guard couldn't stop shit either. So, and a lot of the black soldiers who were fighting overseas were making up the majority of the regiments in the armies, Navy, and Air Force. And we had the best, the red tail peoples and all of that. So we had the best across the board, but we didn't see the bigger picture. And like, okay, we're in strategic places all across this nation. We need to take this shit over, not just defeat them in cities and this and that, and not just beat up their National Guard and have a defensive. We need to take the offensive and take over. We see what I'm saying? We won the battle. We will cause white flight. Got rid of Jim Crow, the overt quote unquote, and we defeated the right wing of the ruling class. But there's another wing, the left wing, and that's the one that gave you integration and civil rights and feminism and LGBT, and that's the group that deindustrialized the inner cities and shipped over all of the high-wage, high-skill manufacturing jobs overseas strategically to cause economic castration. That's the one who broke up the family. You see what I'm saying? See, we win these wars, these battles, but we don't understand the bigger picture, that it's about taking it all over. Not just purely defensive, okay, they leave us alone. No, we need to take over. We need to be the power itself. We need to control the reality itself now. And it's important to know that, because too many people was like, oh my God, we've never won. They won it all. Oh, they got it. No, they didn't get it. We just didn't see. We just didn't negotiate shit. When we fight, we win. We just need to see the biggest picture of all and understand that the biggest goal is for us to control and rule the reality as such. Power is the ability to define oneself and have everybody else accept it. We have to have everybody else accept our rule, our reality. And if not, then they can't be in our reality. Oh well, so I don't want them in our reality anyways. So either way, we win. That's the goal. And I want to also, talk about maat. I think that's important too, for us to get back to a system of maat over the whole world. That needs to be restored because there's too much demonic shit being pushed, too much evil shit being pushed, and One thing too I want to see us have more of is unity. I want to see us keep that same unity and energy we had during the George Floyd uprising of last year, and us not lose the momentum, and us not get bamboozled and sidetracked so easily. That's, I don't want that to happen ever again anymore. And one thing I love though is this pull up season, pull up summer. I hope this pull up summer shit is not just a fad; it becomes the new normal for us. We have each other's back. Men have women's back. Men have kids back. The women have the men's back. The women have the kids back. The elders have everybody else's back. And we have the elders back. The kids have our back. We have the kids back, and vice versa. And it just becomes the new energy, the new spirit that we're on. And we just ride that wave. We keep pushing. We keep going forward. We're at a 25, 8, 366 forever and ever until we rule. And then even when we rule, we keep on that same meiotic unification on code energy. That needs to be the new staying ground, new standing power. And I love this era. I'm not gonna lie. I love this shit for us because I see it. Y'all don't see the vision that I see, man. Y'all don't see this shit. Y'all need to. I see this shit after we win. I see it. I just see it, man. I just see this shit. And it's beautiful. I feel that energy, and it's gonna be great. Like, how great is it gonna be to just be free? Just to be free. Like, that's gonna be great. Just to finally live in your own reality as such. It's worth it. And we're worthy of it. And we're gonna get it. We will have it. It is, fuck that. It's ours now. We're free now. Just being in that state of mind and that energy, we're free now. So when we get it, like, yo, we already got it. We just now are manifesting it. Because it starts in here, it starts in here, and it starts in the soul. And we got this. So I just say thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, put everybody onto the wave, and shout out to everybody pushing. And I appreciate y'all for watching this, and I just appreciate just my race in general. You know what I'm saying? I just appreciate the black race because, man, we are fighters. Man, yo, man, I don't know about y'all, but ever since I was a kid, all I wanted to be was black. I thought that was the shit. I always thought that was the shit. Like, the long dreads and just the slang we talk, just our soul swag, our women. I was like, ain't nothing better than that. You know what I'm saying? Smarts, the history, the inventions, like, that's all I wanted to be. That's all I wanted to live around. Um, I just thought we were the realest. And so, yeah. And I want us to get into that mindset where we look at each other through the eyes that we look at white people. See what I'm saying? If we had the same energy for each other that we have for white people, we would treat each other way better. And if we had the same energy for white people that we do to each other, there would be no more white supremacy. You see, we have our signs crossed. See what I'm saying? You know, y'all remember the sign, the greater and the lesser sign. You know what I'm saying? We have our greatest sign for the enemy and then our least sign for ourselves. And we should have it flipped because white supremacy rules in our mind. The only reason white supremacy is even in power right now is because it rules through our mind. It rules through our mind. If it didn't rule through our mind, then there would be no more white supremacy. And that's why Khalid Muhammad used to say all the time, it's this fight is for the hearts and minds of our people. If we get the heart and mind right within our own people, we rule. And that's the goal. And I see it. And so thank you for watching, and it's gonna be more videos. Put me on and hashtag pull up summer. Basically, I want to see that more. I like that pull up summer shit. And justice for all of those who have been um, Darius Wright, that fake ass bitch. Everybody knows that wasn't no damn taser. You know it wasn't no taser. Everybody knows that was a lie. We need to bring back the energy when it came to the Joshua Brown thing, because that needs to be talked about more again, and reopening that, because that was no way those three patsies did that. We know that was the Dallas police. The thing that happened to the daughter of that activist, that needs to be investigated. The Kobe thing needs to be reinvestigated. Nipsey thing, the trial. What the fuck's going on with that? Why aren't the celebrity class speaking out on it? Especially, no disrespect to Lauren, but Owen as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can remember Megan Evers' wife. When Megan Evers was killed by the Klan, she made sure 10 toes down every second, every day, like fighting for her dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's that? You know what I mean? Like, damn, why aren't you speaking truth to power when it comes to him and the trial? Why is nobody speaking on that trial? I think that's bullshit. The thing that happened in Tennessee too, with that young boy getting killed in the high school, that's bullshit. That needs to be pull up summer gang all day. Across the board, the little girl who got raped, that needs to be pull up summer. And the dude got the charges dismissed. The girl who got shot 4 times by that officer, but it needs to be pull up summer on him. I'm like, it's a little girl. I'm like, there's no way you can justify shooting a girl 4 times in the chest. I don't give a fuck if she got no knife. I don't give a fuck if she had a gun. Honestly, you're a trained marksman, my nigga. I'm like, you know how I know you could do that? Because I was in the military academy as well, and I know you can shoot the gun out of a bitch's hand easily. We get trained like that. See what I'm saying? I'm like, you can't spin that shit. You're just trigger happy. You just see these motherfuckers as an enemy combatant. You get a hard on and shit when we get killed and shit. Y'all on some weirdo shit, but y'all weirdos, so it's expected. But I just wanted to end that shit off like we need to be 10 toes down. We need to be even harder and more rah rah. We need to have a community justice community in progress patrolling these 5-0. We need to get the names of the officers who have had histories of fuckery with the black community and tell their ass. You know what I'm saying? Be on some Black Panthers times 20 type shit. And, protect our community. You know, have it how Khalid Muhammad was talking about how the nation, how the fruit of Islam, they never called the police. They used to call the fruit of Islam to handle disputes within the community. I like shit like that. We need to get back to that. And that's another thing too. I'm like, you see what I'm saying? The fuck? That's what I'm talking about. Under Khalid, the real niggas, it was about it. They was 10 toes down. They was helping and defending the community, and they was teaching the people in the community self defense and all of that. Where the fuck is the nation? But that tells you exactly what the nation's about. That's what I'm saying. But we need to do it on our own. And I'm here to lead the charge. If nobody else wants to step up to the plate. Because I'm tired. I really am. I'm tired. And we need some real niggas in the field that's really bought it. Man, I feel like I'm bought it when it's time tested. So yeah. So I just say like, share, subscribe, and thank you for watching.